then we could say, yeah, you know, because it took Gareth Bale 2-3 years,
right,
and he became the best left winger on the planet. But we need solutions now, you know, because next year Aston Villa are going to be better. I don't think Newcastle are going to be as have such a horrendous injury issue that you had last year, which cost you. Man United are going to get their act together. So next year gets harder. So just to maintain fifth, we need to go big, let alone, you know, and just said he wants to challenge for the league title next year. I don't know what he's smoking, Chris. I mean, the league title with Timo Werner? Okay.
Well, in the beginning of the season, it looked promising this past season, but I do understand. Now, there's a question by Mighty Wayne says, do you think that Maddison's bubble has burst?
Well, before we signed him, all the Leicester City fans warned us, wait till January, he's going to drop off. And if you look at the last 5 seasons, you look at his performance, and you look at the games he's played, and you look at goal contributions, assists, goals, all that stuff, the second half of every season, there's a massive drop-off with Maddison. And it happened with us. The same thing happened. Okay, injuries play a part, but he I think there's one season actually where his second half of the season was better, but 80% of the time, his second half of the season is not good. And we saw the exact same thing at Spurs this season. Big pardon. Everything the Leicester City fans told us happened. So has his bubble burst? I think he just repeated what he's done at Leicester for the last 5 years.
Yeah. Queen of Heart has a question. Who would be your next manager for Spurs, or ideally, or are you happy now with Ange? But if it wasn't, what would you do there?
It doesn't matter as long as Daniel Levy's the chairman. And we've got this transfer policy of quantity over quality. Listen, we've had 17 managers. They've all failed. 17.
Well, Pochettino didn't fail. I mean, he got...
We didn't win anything. No, but again, I don't blame him. I don't blame him, Chris. He never got the backing. But my point is, we had Conte, who is elite. He wins everywhere. You bring in Conte, open up the checkbook and do as he says. We're like, no. We're going to give him Clement Longley. We're going to give him Dan Juma. We're going to give him Jed Spence. We're going to give him Fraser Forrester. Come on. This is Conte. What are you giving him? We signed Mourinho. Same nonsense. Same rubbish. When you sign certain managers, you've got to give them certain types of players, because that's why they've been successful at the clubs they've been in the past. Yeah. You can't bring in an elite manager and tell the manager, you've got to work like this. No. The manager comes in, you've got to do what they say. That's why you brought them in. You've got to work to their formula. You can't tell them you've got to do it to my formula that's never worked. When you bring in a Poch, maybe it's a bit different. Maybe there's a compromise. Maybe it's 50% Poch, 50% Spurs. Let's find the middle ground. But when you bring in an elite manager, like, you don't bring in Pep and say, right, Pep, you've got to do a few things our way. Pep's going to see you later.
No.
Yeah. Not for me. You bring me in, you do what I say. And in return, I will win you everything. That's how it works. And Conte and Mourinho were elite managers we brought in. You know, Mourinho got us to a cup final and we sacked him 5 days before the final, and we put in a 29-year-old kid against Pep. And then fans wonder why we lose. Like, well, it's obvious why we lost. You know
what? So what is the solution? Obviously, getting Levy out, but how does that happen in your eyes? How do you accomplish getting Levy to sell? I mean, because it's obviously damn near impossible if they don't want to sell.
We can't get Levy out because the fans don't want to get rid of him.
But that's what I'm saying. So what should the fans do? Because according to you, they have it in their hands to stop buying shirts, stop going to the games,
boycott games, mass protests, or go to the games and chant Levy out until we drive him mad. Go to the game, then everyone walk out, protests like we saw at Arsenal, like we saw at Man United, like we've seen Newcastle fans do. But there's no appetite for that. Spurs fans don't have any appetite for that, which is why, you know, people will call me controversial, because then what I say is I don't blame the fans for the situation at Spurs, but now, after 25 years, I think fans have to hold themselves accountable for accepting it. Like, we accept this. We say this is okay.